The One Piece episode 1072 preview. This episode is supposed to have even better animation than the previous one in which Luffy attained his Gear 5. 1071 was just the showcase of Gear 5 and 1072 will be the real battle. So there's a lot of hype around the animation coming for this episode, and we're going to dive into the preview here and take a look at some of these animations and what we can probably expect to come. Okay, I'm going to include a little bit of spoilers, nothing major, just on what we expect to see out of the next episode going by the manga. Luffy will use 4 new abilities in this episode, which is going to be incredibly exciting. You know, the animations are going to be off the dang chain. He is going to first get eaten by Kaido and use Gomu Gomu no Balloon. He's going to balloon himself inside Kaido, and then he uses Escape Rocket to fling himself out of Kaido, and then he turns into a literal giant and stomps on Kaido. Finally, before using Jump Rope, in which he just literally grabs onto Kaido and uses him as a jump rope for a bit, before I believe he gets nuked in the face by a blast breath. This will force Luffy out of his form, and he's gonna struggle to try and get back into his Gear 5th form, but he eventually will, and Kaido will respond by transforming into his hybrid form. Now, right after Luffy gets his Gear 5th form back, he actually does start to take a beating. He doesn't really seem too invincible in this chapter. Obviously, here you can see the spiked mace going through his head. He is gonna get beat up pretty damn bad, but he's also gonna return the favor quite a bit. So this episode is gonna have a ton of interesting battle going on. You know the animations are gonna be absolutely ridiculous coming up. I mean, I really do think that they showcased quite a bit in 1071, but I think the real animation, the real combat is absolutely coming here. We'll see Luffy utilize the surroundings a little bit more, taking advantage of his Zone Devil Fruit to make the surrounding area rubber, and he uses this quite a bit in a variety of attacks and combinations against Kaido. And we're gonna see a ton of really funny, goofy faces out of Luffy this episode, so if you guys are into that and you like that sort of stuff, there's obviously going to be a huge comical element to the Gear 5 form. I mean, just the fact that he can manipulate reality around him just allows the animators unbound freedom when it comes to animating. So as they're battling, Kaido kind of takes notice of the transformation, and he says that Luffy's form is more typical of a zone type fruit. And he's actually very excited about this battle. He wants it to continue, and they do. They actually, this battle does not end in the next episode. It's going to go on for a few more, I believe, before it finally comes to the conclusion. So lots and lots of combat and lots of Gear 5 to come. In fact, he will use even more abilities in the episode 1073. I won't give that one away, but I will do a 1073 preview after the next episode comes out. So interestingly, they show a lot of Kaido's hybrid form here in the next episode preview, but they skip a lot of the episode. They don't showcase Luffy's abilities, and I feel like they really just showed us a lot of like kind of the second half, because the first half of 1072 is way more important. Luffy's gonna go out of his form, it's gonna show how draining it is on his body, and then he's gonna kind of work his way back into it. He's gonna exchange a ton of blows with very cool abilities against Kaido. Like, he's gonna use 4 new abilities in succession, and then Kaido is going to return the favor quite a bit, but they're going to go back and forth a lot, and they show a lot of that here in this next episode preview. Some interesting frames. I mean, it appears that Luffy kind of made this giant slide of rubber ground, and he's like running down it like this. Seems pretty interesting, but I'm sure we're going to get incredibly high-speed combat, more very wonky, goofy frames. Again, you can see here, I mean, Luffy just looks like a plume of color. I was talking about that in my review of episode 1071. The animation techniques that they're using for Luffy Gear 5 and how he just very interestingly just turns into plumes of color. He loses so much detail on his character, but then he kind of snaps back into it a lot, which I think is very interesting and cool that the animators are able to make that work. You're gonna see a couple of shots here from the next episode preview of Luffy throwing these massive punches, and he's gonna punch the living hell out of Kaido quite a bit. Giant fists, regular fists, it looks like he has this Super Saiyan aura on him, and as he punches, Kaido goes literally flying, like insano mode flying. Tons and tons of damage come out from Luffy. He doesn't really look it, but my god is he strong. Look at this punch come through. Luffy smacks the living shit out of Kaido here and sends him launching, my guy. So yes, Luffy God mode, incredibly powerful, but the next episode preview that we're watching right now is making Luffy look a lot stronger than I believe he actually is. Here you can see Luffy connecting with, I believe, Kaido's face. It's like his nose right there. But Luffy is going to get knocked around a ton. I mean, if you remember at the end of 1070, Luffy's laying there looking dead. I mean, it's going to kind of happen to him again here, but he is able to snap back into his form after he gets beaten like crap by Kaido. And it's going to be really fun to see these two titans just completely wailing on each other over and over using all sorts of different abilities. I'm super excited to see these abilities in action and what the animators are able to pull off with it. Just reading through the manga chapter that this next episode is coming up based on, man, it seems just very dynamic, and my mind is racing with all the potential that these animators are going to bring forth. I think One Piece episode 1072 will be one of those anime episodes that will be remembered forever. One of those ones that you can just go back and watch over and over again and never get bored of it. That's going to be this coming episode. So I am super pumped for this. I will be making a review on it, and I'll also be making a next episode preview of 1073. That's right, your boy Mastar is getting into One Piece content. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like the One Piece content, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you guys like this stuff and you want more, and I will do it. Thanks for everything, and I will see you guys on the next video.